Hey guys, it's Shorty underscore medium 13 here. So I am back with the weekly reading. We've got the lovely one of my good friends, Jess, joining us today for the weekly reading. So we've both picked up some cards. It's been definitely been some interesting energy lately, don't you reckon?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The last couple of weeks have definitely been interesting. The Mercury retrograde and the
Mhm.
the solar, the eclipses, and been crazy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Coming on to the other side.
Uh, yeah, can't wait
It-
for it to be over, to be honest.
yeah, it'll be over before we know it, but just embracing it for everything that it is.
100%. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well jump into some cards. So this will be going up on Sunday. So this is obviously the reading for the next week when Mercury retrograde ends, and yes, definitely some interesting cards. We were talking off air, and definitely seems like it's going to be interesting. So do you want to kick us off with the first card?
Alrighty. So the first card that I pulled was from the liquid crystal deck, and it is the clear quartz. With the clear quartz card there. And this card really um says that there's a beginning of a new age coming. So a really beautiful message that as kind of things have been feeling that little bit heavy, just always remembering that light within us and knowing that that light is there to guide us towards the things that we want from our lives. So a really beautiful opportunity to spend time in meditation, um, and rewriting and working your goals so that when that retrograde finishes, you're then ready to hit the ground running. And yeah, just being nice and kind to yourself, having beautiful self-acceptance and that clarity. So yeah, that was a big card for today, which was really cool.
I love that. It's such an important message and an important time at the moment. You know, with the retrograde and as we come out of it, it's going to be easier for all of us to manifest as we were talking off air. And yeah, and just to
Mm.
really you allow utilize this time is what I was trying to say. Utilize this time to go within and work on ourselves and be where we want to be. So when we come out of retrograde, we can really manifest gold instead of manifesting shit, as one of my friends would say. It's a good saying. I kind of, well, I didn't steal it from her, but it's a good saying. My friend Gina, she'd always say, "Do you want to manifest gold or do you want to manifest shit?" And I'm like,
This is true.
it's
It's
true.
true.
And it's
It
true.
very much so is. And I think that by sitting in that time as well too, using it as a way to kind of release things from your past, just letting go of all the things that you need to, and trusting in that and knowing that there is a really enriching future come
Yeah.
to you. If you are feeling a little bit heavy or stuck, is probably a really good way to kind of describe how the energies are feeling at the moment. It's that real kind of limbo.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just trusting and surrender is a really important message.
100%. All right, well, I'll jump in with the next card. So it's from my Healing Waters card deck. So it's She Who Flows. So it's about ease, being open to change and go with the flow.
Hmm.
Beautiful card, but it's that strong message of just being able to go with the flow of life and kind of letting go of some of the control and stop kind of letting go of some of our worries and our doubts and our fears that kind of get in the way and just kind of going with the flow and just allowing things to happen as they're supposed to and trust that it's going to happen and being
Mm.
open to change, you know, that transformation, being able to change, being able to go, you know, go with the flow, but being able to change some of our patterning, some of our old ways to be able to go with the flow, to be able to lead into that is probably is what I feel is the strongest message and just having more ease, more grace, more yeah, just I think once we change and once we go with the flow a bit more, it creates a bit more ease and a bit more less drama in our lives.
Yeah, and I think it's that old, likening to just being like water, because water just flows. And whenever I'm feeling any resistance, I think about being at the ocean and watching the water and just knowing that I too am from that, so that you can embody that. And it's a really beautiful way, because all the things are going to happen to you anyway. And another thing that I found really beautiful is that things come to you and through you, not the other way around, because you're never chasing anything, or you shouldn't be wanting to be in that energy either. So by being in the flow, things are just going to attract you and align with your energy. And when you're worrying, and as you said, we get into fear and worry and overthinking things, it ultimately just creates those blockages in that water flow. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
like
a really
that.
cool
I like
one.
that little element of the water as well because,
Mm,
it does flow with ease and it does, when we can sort of embody a little bit of that of the water of the ocean of, well, the waterfall or whatever you want to call it,
yep.
just having that bit of the flow and that ease, it does allow our lives to just be that little bit easier. And it's we're not
Mhm.
focusing on all of the worries and the stress and the doubts and the fears. We're kind of just being in that position to allow, to be open, to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even when the water isn't calm and there's, obstacles in the way, there might be rocks or things like that, the water still goes right over it,
100%.
even when it's not calm. So I think it's always really nice to know that um, it's not always going to be, a pristine river,
Yeah.
bubbling away. There is going to be times where it's going to be a little bit more tumultuous and things like that. So yeah, just likening yourself to water is
Yeah.
beautiful.
I love that. And I feel like we all should connect more to water than what we do. Water's very powerful and it's got a lot of healing energy that can really help. So whenever you're feeling stuck, or especially now during Mercury retrograde, is probably the best time to be getting out to the water in any form that you can get it.
Definitely, definitely. Grounding is really important at the moment too. Yeah, we were talking a bit off air about that kind of vertigo, kind of um, spacey, kind of not here feeling. And if you're feeling that, I always find it's just super useful just to get out in nature or get to the ocean and just ground yourself, because yeah, there's a lot going on out there wherever there is, and yeah, messing with us. So yeah, very important. Good point, Geordie.
100%. All right. If I can even speak, do you want to go with another card? I couldn't even get the words out. I was stumbling. That
You didn't stumble that much. You were fine.
must have made it worse in my head, but oh well.
But you can try again.
Yeah. If you want to kick us off with the next card.
Oh, yeah, sure. The next cards that I got were giving a really similar message. And it was really just things that we've touched on. Um, Taking time out to nurture yourself, um, whether it be self-care practices or just doing the things that you really enjoy doing, meditation, contemplation, journaling, um, just really taking that time out to really nurture yourself, and know that that nurturing isn't ever going to come from anyone else outside of you,
100%.
is something that I will say, because sometimes we look to other people to give us the things that we want, and unless we actually know exactly what that is and we tell them, it's almost impossible for them to give us what we want. So and even if they did, it's not going to land the way that it would if we were doing it for ourselves. So really getting clear on what those things are that nurture you, and actually embody them, and not expect other people to do it for you.
Um,
um because it is also an energy where you'll be kind of in solitude and kind of a little bit not lonely, but feeling a bit isolated
yeah.
from people, whether that be kind of your own overthinking, or um, just that kind. It's almost like it's a pushing into just being with yourself, even if it feels like you're overthinking and creating things to yourself. Just take a breath and just go, no, this is happening for me. this is happening for me to take this time out to nurture myself. And it's absolutely okay to rest and do those things. We don't have to be going all the time. Um, the other things that came up around those similar kind of themes was just being very resistant to change, which we spoke about just before. And always knowing that those material needs are going to be fulfilled. If we're feeling like we're stuck at the moment and things aren't going anywhere, just know and trust and just allow that flow, that those material needs are all going to come through. And they're going to come through in really magical, unexpected ways, because once we go over that threshold of that retrograde ending, and with this clear quartz energy, it's a new age. Things are going to happen that we never thought were going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's something really cool and really exciting to kind of just have in the back of your mind, and just have, like, there's a thing that we say with some friends of mine, and when we start our day, it's about we'll start our work day and we'll be like, okay, well, if something magical doesn't happen today, what's the point? So we start the day by inviting that energy to come in, and we don't know what that magic is going to look like. So that's a really cool little way of thinking about it. And when we're talking about material needs getting met, we're also got to factor in that we need to be sitting in states of gratitude. So that's where journaling will be linked into that. And that knowing that to receive, we need to give as well too. That's another really thing that came up with those kind of sets of cards. They were all kind of really similar, so I've just grouped them into one.
That's all right.
Thanks. And sometimes when we're stuck and we don't feel like we have the material things that we need, know that giving isn't always financial as well. That was another interesting thing that came through as well. And, a beautiful practice that you can do with that is, if you come into connection with someone, think in your mind, go, okay, well, I can't give this person anything financially, but what can I give them? Every person that you meet, and I've done this as a practice, is like throughout the whole day, every person that you interact with, okay, what did I give them? And kind of then go, okay, you get into that real mind frame of giving, and then that receival will start to flow through. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's that reminder to be, sometimes some of us can be stuck in how to give or what to give or how to do it, how we show up for other people. Not saying that anyone's selfish or anything, but sometimes it can be hard to be like, well, this is we obviously appreciate these people. We appreciate these people being in our lives, and we love them. But it's like sometimes giving can be hard too, as much as receiving. Receiving is just as hard as giving. It's like, well, we don't have to buy anyone's love to show that we care, to show that we're giving. There's so many other ways to do that.
And then sometimes when it comes to giving, there's also that element of, okay, well, if I give this person something, are they then going to expect something is it going to be that tit for tat? Or, when you're giving, there's a trust, like people have that kind of, I know sometimes it comes up for me. I'm like, well, if I give them, are they going to respect that gift? Are they going to trust it? You've got to let that go, because ultimately you just need to get into the mindset of, no, I'm just going to give you something, because I know that I'm going to receive, maybe not from you, but it just kind of cultivates that energy, which is really important. And we've been conditioned to believe that giving has to be financial.
Yeah, 100%.
And the financial system isn't a real thing. So we need to look at other ways to give to people. And it might be the fact that it's literally just a smile or asking them how their day was. But yeah.
And I was going to say that we've also been so conditioned that when we give, we have to receive. It's like
right then and there too.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm giving you this, but I expect the same back. And if you don't give it to me now, like right then and there, then it's uproar. And it's like,
Yep.
well, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. The universe can't work that like that. And
No.
you don't really want to have relationships that are operating on that basis either,
Mm,
because then you get that, like you were saying before, you then get that resistance to give
yeah.
and that resistance to receive. And the minute we put any resistance on anything, it's like, okay, it's just not going to make anything happen.
100%.
Um, yeah, because we should be very open to receiving as well as giving. And if sometimes that's been um, yeah, been an issue when we receive, when we go, oh well, I must give that person back something.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't happen that instantaneously. So yeah, cultivating the energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I will jump in. So my next card was from my Moonology manifestation card deck, and with this one, I'll read out the manifestation that comes with it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
first quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. And I love that message for this week, for this coming week, because I feel like it's very much of opening up the heart and it's kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the being able to receive. I feel like that is the best way to receive is from the heart. We receive love and we give love. Keeping that heart open and allowing anything to happen and allowing any possibilities is what's going to make next week whatever we want it to be. We are the creator of our own universe. So if we want to make it a really heartfelt, heart centered week, well, we got to
Mm,
also keep our hearts open. We've got to open up our hearts to be able to receive, to be able to make next week whatever we want.
absolutely. No, that's really beautiful.
So the manifestation for the card is energies of the first quarter moon in Libra. Thank you for showing me how to work with others and how to give and receive. And I love that because it's exactly what we're talking about. You know,
Is that really what it said?
yeah, that was the manifestation affirmation for the card. It's all about giving, receiving, being able to work with others.
Well, there you go. You can't make this stuff up, can you?
No, it basically sums up what we've been talking about. So I love that. And then the next card I had was from the Akashic Tarot card deck, which was the King of Roses but reversed, and it's all about um, a male relationship in our lives that that could potentially be a little bit more karmic than anything. So it's a bit more of a karmic relationship. There's things that will play out. There's things that need to happen.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's just about that person coming into our life. It could be a bit of a breakdown in that sense, in that relationship with a male family member, a romantic partner. Just yeah, there's just some karmic stuff that needs to be worked out there. So
Mhm.
I would probably keep an eye out on that in our next week and going forward and seeing how that potentially plays out. But I feel if anything was to happen, it's just best for us to just take that step back and go kind of
Yep.
observe and not buy
Yeah.
into the drama of what it
Okay. The
what it could
drama.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's a really good point. Very good.
yeah,
Yeah, I think sometimes with karmic stuff as well too, and especially if there's people that are listening that feel like maybe they've been on their healing journey for quite some time and those karmic kind of things have been worked through, I guess. And like you can kind of feel like maybe sometimes you're like, oh, how many more karmic bonds is there, you know?
yeah,
um, but sometimes it's just those little final hooks. So I know for me, when it's a karmic thing, I might not have any kind of link with the initial bond, but there might be different characters that show up to kind of hook me back in. And, so sometimes it's a character that gets sent and it's like, okay, well, you're going to relink that bond or not?
yeah.
And yeah, so the comment that you just made about not buying in and not getting into the drama is really important with karmic stuff, because I do think that my personal belief is that we can relink into those kind of frequencies, link
100%.
into those bonds and link into that energy.
And even
Yeah.
with the karmic stuff, like just on that, sometimes it could be people from the past that come back, and it's like, well, do we allow? Do we, do we, as you said, do we relink? Do we allow that connection to form again, or do we go, you know what?
Are we
It's,
going back onto that loop, or are we elevating?
yeah,
Like which way you're going about it, because everything's a matter of choice, and it is also retrograde season too. So people from your past will be coming back.
100%. Yeah, I'm grateful so far. No one from my past has come back yet, but who knows? They may be watching and be like, you know what? Let's send a message. Not saying it's a bad thing, but you never know. I've had some interesting people in my past, so you never know.
Yeah,
Always
it's,
open to anything and everything, really. Who knows?
if those things aren't coming up in alignment with your highest good, then you kind of move on. But it's about kind of, especially, if you've gone to a point of healing those bonds already, and jumping off those loops, these are the real things that do pop up,
Yeah,
to just show you that those things are still within your helmet that's coming off
yeah,
as you fully evolve into that new age. So yeah, just keep it, let it wash over you,
yeah. And but
and
sometimes the people
be.
from the past do come back just so that we can be like, hey, you know what? It's great that you've reached out. It was good to hear
Yeah,
from you, but I don't want to. I'm not interested in going back
go on.
or
Yeah, yeah.
in what's happened in the past. I'm
Mm.
focusing on moving forward, and you're welcome to join, or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just
Are you joining me in this newness, and changing the way that our relationship was? But I think sometimes with karmic stuff, it's a little bit, they're kind of, they're there,
yeah,
and we can never make anyone change. So
100%.
um, yeah, yeah, and, yeah.
And then the next card, was the last card, I should say, is from my Whispers of Love. And I love finishing on these cards because they're obviously all about love. But this one, which is also actually about love, is Take a Chance on Love.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for to end the reading for this coming week. When we love, our lives are changed forever, and I totally feel that and believe that when we fully love and when we come from a place of love, when we're fully in that space of love, our lives do change. Things
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
change. Our lives change forever. There's so much that happens, and that it kind of our direction in life kind of takes a completely different turn because we're not going on our own. We're not doing it on our own. We've got that other person there that we kind of think about or consider in a sense.
Mm,
It's not so much individual. It's like, how do we continue on together? How do we grow together? How do we continue on this journey of life together? As much as we do things individually, and it's still important in relationships to do things individually and to have your own life in a sense, but you still, in ways, take into consideration the other person too.
yeah, absolutely. Mm. And I think sometimes, just with the opening your heart to love, and how important love is, and staying within that frequency as well, um, that could be even just that love with with yourself as well too. And
Yeah,
um, one of the last cards that I had was the a leap of faith card. So Archangel Metatron showing up to remind us to listen to our heart, and to believe in yourself, and show yourself all that love, and do the things that bring you joy, because by doing that, it does open up your heart by sitting in a state of joy, doing things that you enjoy, showing yourself love. Your heart space instantly just opens up, because you're working in through that chakra, and um, brings those things to you. You're removing the resistance,
100%.
which is really nice.
And that's the other part of this card is, take a chance on loving yourself. Take a chance on you.
Yeah,
Take a chance on you. Like at the end of the day, it all comes back to us anyway, and it comes back to who we are as individuals. So,
Absolutely.
anyone out there that has the struggles with the self-love and all of that, let's turn it around. Let's take a chance on you. Like you're still here and you've gotten to this point for a reason. So why not back yourself? Why not take a chance on you?
Yep, absolutely. Loud and clear, Geordie. Because we're conditioned to not like ourselves very much, and we're more than happy to stay in that space. So um if it resonates, then I definitely would encourage people to take a period of time of, whether it be, a month, whatever the case may be. These things don't happen overnight, but set yourself a little bit of a challenge and be like, okay, what would happen over 30 days
Yeah.
if I actually took that chance and took that leap and invested in myself?
Mm.
Um,
What would that
you
look
know,
like?
what would it look like? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think
What can you do to align yourself with that, and knowing that, everything's going to work out.
100%, yeah. It
But it's going
does.
to work out a hell of a lot better if you show up for yourself. That's for sure. So yeah.
And that's the thing. I think that's been probably one of the biggest themes for this coming week is the love
Mm,
and the self-love and the self-worth and the gratitude and just taking a moment to be proud of ourselves, to congratulate ourselves for just being still here in this present moment, to still be here, to still living our lives,
yeah,
so many things could have happened that could have taken a turn, but we're still here for a reason. And we matter at the end of the day. We matter and we're important
absolutely.
and take that chance, take that leap on yourself. Like put yourself out there, do what you want to do, At the end of the day, it's your life and you're the driver of that ship. So time.
Absolutely. And then the last card that came up, I don't know if you can see that. Feeling safe.
Um,
So that was just a little message from the fairies to say how safe it is to just be able to do all those things. You can take that leap. It might seem scary, but yeah, you've got all the safety nets that you need to be able to do the things that you want to do. And yeah, putting a big focus on grounding and honoring those feelings of safety, whether it be just repeating it to yourself in your mind's eye, will be a really big help, and using affirmations and things. But yeah, always know how safe you are.
100%. I think that even ties into what we were saying before about the loving yourself and all of that is, you need to feel safe within you too. Like as much
Your
as
own body and your own mind. Yeah.
just that feeling safe in the just as you said in your mind and your body that you are okay and that you are still here for a reason. I think we all kind of come here for that search of feeling safe or wanting to feel safe, and if we can't give that to ourselves and if we're not giving that to ourselves, it's very hard to find it externally.
Yeah, that's right. It will never be there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And if it does show up, it's not going to be what you actually need, because only you can do that for yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's the same with love too. I feel we're never fully going to 100% love ourselves and be, we're always going to have dips and we're always going to be on not so much of a roller coaster, but we are going to go through the ebbs and flows of life and loving ourselves. And we're going to have
Yeah.
days where we're not feeling ourselves as much as we would maybe the next day. But I feel like our self love and our self worth needs to be at a certain point so that you can be able to receive that from someone else, especially in love and in a partner. I feel we need to be at a certain point with it so that the
Yeah.
ebbs and flows aren't all the way up here and all the way down here. So that
Mm,
when we are receiving it from someone else, they're sort of matching or maybe giving a little bit more than what you're able to because it's that right connection, it's the right love, it's the right
absolutely. Absolutely agree. Mm.
definitely a lot of room for thoughts in this
There
reading.
definitely is, isn't there?
There's a lot of hidden gems and a lot of messages in there. So
Yes,
um,
absolutely. Mm.
yeah, I feel like that's a good place to end it. So thank you for jumping on. Thank you for being a part of this.
Pleasure.
It's good fun. Definitely enjoyed this one. And yeah, I hope everyone out there enjoys this one. Thank you, Jess, for being a part of this. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time for the next weekly reading.
Cool. Thank you.